Hello everyone. This is M again, CEO, super coach, CEO of the Soul Focus Group. Excited about our walks in the park, as I call them. And today, in continuing with the subject matter of fear, I want to talk to you about the imposter syndrome. Now, I know that's a huge issue out in the world, the imposter syndrome, because I've worked with thousands of people from all around the world. And the imposter syndrome is real. It is something that people struggle with on a regular basis. It's unfortunate, but it's true. So let's talk about what sources it. What's powering the imposter syndrome? Because remember I said in our last video that power is energy. And whatever we put our energy into, we put our power into. So I want you to begin to start questioning and analyzing for yourself. What am I putting my energy into? This is the reason why, yogis and gurus and spiritual teachers all harp on the idea of setting your intention at the beginning of your day. Because setting your intention at the beginning of the day is so critical when you think about power. When you think about what power is, it's energy, and whatever you put your energy in, you put your power in, and power drives the world. Everything you see happening is being driven by energy, by power. But most cases, people have been putting their power into things that they don't even know that they're putting their power into. Like, for example, if you have a habit of seeing yourself losing, seeing yourself being rejected, seeing your authentic self being turned down, or being made fun of because you experienced something as a child that was traumatic, and you had it mean that you were not enough because you experienced that or because you went through that, then through life you've created a habit. It is not you, it is the habit you have in you. And that habit is automatically, let's talk about habit for a second, because habit is connected to the imposter syndrome. And I want to put this next to it. You have a habit of showing up as someone else. You have a habit of not showing up as yourself. You have a habit of trying to be more like somebody else than you. You have a habit of it. Now, what is a habit? A habit is a select group of choices that are made that are put on autopilot. In other words, brushing your teeth is a habit. It's a choice on autopilot. So you automatically, without thinking about it, get up and brush your teeth because you put it on autopilot. You've given over a certain degree of energy in advance to that habit, to that duty, and it operates without you even thinking about it. Now, habits are very important servants of humanity. They make life easier. So we create habits so that things get easier and easier for us. The question is, we have a lot of habits that aren't working for us, and we don't even know that they're habits. Like having a habit of believing that you have to show up as someone else is not a habit working for you. Because here's what you're going to find. When you were a child and you created the imposter, the false self that you were going to be to protect the self from everything you saw around you, because you didn't understand how to protect yourself, you created somebody else to mitigate the pain. What you will find is that the person you have been pretending to be has been causing you more pain than your authentic self ever could. And here's the thing. When you show up at work as an imposter, the only person that knows you're being an imposter is you. So the relationship that you're really impacting the most is your own. Your own perception of yourself is being diluted, is being really screwed up. And you're developing a distrust for yourself because you're watching yourself work to try to deceive other people. So what that does, it trains you to not trust yourself. Now get this. If you're walking around not trusting yourself and you have to be with yourself 24 hours a day, you're never away from yourself. It is traumatizing in and of itself to have to know that you are spending time with someone who is untrustworthy, who is deceptive, who lies, who pretends all the time. It doesn't matter what the reason is. what matters is that you do it, and it's a habit that you must interrupt, and you must recreate a new pattern, a new pattern. So think about it. First of all, I need you to think about it. I need you to think about, why would anyone want to be someone that they are not? And the only reason why someone would want to be what they are not is because they believe that who they are is not enough. Now, that's a belief, but it's also a fear. So most people walk around with a constant fear that who they are is not enough. And the imposter syndrome is a manifestation of that fear. So you're saying, it's like saying, I'm afraid to go back home. I'm afraid to go back to me. I'm afraid to embrace who I really am. And why is that? It's not because you're afraid of yourself. You are afraid of the things that you went through as a child that caused you to alter your expression in the first place. But the thing is, what you don't realize is that the level of energy that you poured into that as a child has never been surpassed yet. The level of power that you've invested into that image, that perception, that belief that you are going to not be good enough, that you are going to be rejected, that you are somehow faulty. The energy you keep pouring into it is what keeps developing the picture, keeps manifesting it into your world. And what you don't realize is that just as you created that habit, you could uncreate it and replace it with a new habit, a new, more powerful habit, one that has you seeing and envisioning in your mind's eye yourself being fully accepted, loved, belonged, and appreciated. But it starts first with, guess who? With you. It starts first with you accepting yourself. It starts first with you smiling when you see yourself in the mirror. It starts first with you getting to know yourself and you accurately representing your 5 inner realities, your feelings, your thoughts, your desires, your perspective, and your experiences. It starts first with you being 100% on your own side and working to develop a habit of not betraying yourself, of not putting yourself down, getting rid of all the language that we use inside our head about ourselves that have us feeling bad. Listen, I want you to be on the lookout, on the listen out for the language that we use that really puts us down. And every time you hear yourself using that kind of language, stop and interrupt it in your brain and replace it with something beautiful. See, all of us come into this world with a heavenly mind. The elders that I grew up around referred to that heavenly mind as our first mind. So we all came into the world with our first mind. And the first mind is simply our soul, which I call the celestial blueprint of our original self. That's what soul is. And we all come into this world with that beautiful thinking mind, We have that beautiful thinking mind. That's why as children, everybody wants to be around children because their mind is so beautiful. And then what happens is we end up creating a second mind out of the response to trauma, out of response to the world telling us that who we are is not enough, or the world giving us signals that we have to be someone else. And then we start creating a second mind. We call that second mind ego. The thing is, the ego mind is given to us mainly by someone else, or is characters in this world that we develop or take on that has been suggested to us that we can be. And then that becomes our imposter. So some of us are in the imposter syndrome of being a hero, a savior, a pessimist, a martyr, a comedian, the black sheep, etc., etc. None of those characters are who we are. Those are character traits that we've taken on in response to trauma in an attempt to mitigate pain. But we stay in those roles, even though we know that's not who we are, because of what we keep believing about ourselves, the possibilities we keep depositing our energy into, which is we're going to lose, we're not going to win, we're going to be rejected. We have to shift it. And you have to shift it by intentionally pouring into your mind new possibilities. New possibilities are how you're going to be perceived, not just by other people, but possibilities on how you're going to perceive yourself differently from this moment on. From this moment on, I'm going to love me. From this moment on, I'm going to see the grace in me, the beauty in me. From this moment on, I'm going to realize that I am my soul's perfect work of art. Nothing wrong with me, nothing to change, nothing to fix. I love me. I'm M, Super Coach, CEO of the Soul Focus Group. Peace. I love you.